Welcome to Code Guide. Children, in this video, I will discuss creating tables using HTML in detail. In your exam, there is one question always from the table. So I'll start with the table. Table tag is a container tag and this is used to create tables. The syntax is table. In between your data and the other tags and then slash table. Everything to be put in a table should be enclosed between these two tags. Using the table, inside the table tr, td and th tag, graphic tables are enclosed within a two-sided table tag that identifies the start and end of the table structure. Each row of the table is indicated using a two-sided, that one is table row. Within each table row, a two-sided TD, that is for table data. It tag indicates the presence of individual table cells. TH stands for the table header and used to specify the table's header. Now the general table syntax is table tr and slash tr. This is for first row. This is for second row. Inside a row there is first cell, second cell, third cell, fourth cell, which is in the second row. So this is the example of two rows and two columns. Now we will discuss attributes of a table tag. First, by default, a browser displays table without table borders. A table border can be added using the border attribute by giving some value. Value is the width of border in pixels. Size attribute is optional. If you don't specify, browser creates table border of 1 pixel wide. Now this table displays the different border values. This is 0 pixel. You can see no border is appeared outside the table. 1 pixel, 5 pixel and 10 pixel effect you can see on a table border. Adding a 5 pixel border, here it is mentioned border equal to 5 and caption above race result is a caption of the table. If you see only the outside border is affected by the border attribute, internal grid lines are not affected. Now controlling cell spacing. Children, cell spacing is the space between two table cells. Syntax is table, cell spacing equal to value. Value is a width of interior borders in the pixel and default cell spacing is 2 pixels. So the cell spacing refer to the space between the cells. Defining cell padding says that control the space between table text and the cell border. Cell padding attribute is used. So table cell padding equal to value. Value is the distance between the table text to the cell border as measured in the pixel. By default, it is 1 pixel. So cell padding refer to the space within the cells. This is the example of cell spacing and cell padding. This is 10 pixel. You can see the distance between text and the cell wall. Here the distance between cells is clearly visible. Working with table and cell size. The size of a table is determined by text it contains in its cell. The more the data in the cell, that size will be more. By default, HTML places text on a single line. As you add text in a cell, the width of a column and table expands to edge of the page. You can insert line break, paragraph, image, anything within a cell. More text is added, the height also expands. But you can manually adjust the table size and its cell size. Defining the table size, table width equal to size and height equal to size determines the size as the width and height of a table as measured in pixel or the percentage. To create a table whose height is equal to the entire height of the display area, height equal to 100% will work. If you specify an absolute size for a table in pixels, the size remain constant regardless of the browser or the monitor setting. Remember that some monitor displays web page at resolution of 640 by 480 pixels. So adjust your size accordingly. This is example of setting the table width to 500 pixels. Aligning a table on a web page. So by default, a browser places a table on the left margin of a web page with surrounding text. You can change the alignment as left, right, or center given as the value given in the align attribute. Align attribute is similar to the align attribute used with the image tag. This is the result of the right align table. If you can see, the table is right align with the align equal to right attribute. This is aligning the contents of a table. You can align the table content. By default, cell text is placed in the middle of the cell, aligned with the cell's left edge. By using the align and v-align attribute, you can specify the text horizontal and vertical placement. To align the text for a single column, you must apply the align attribute to every cell in that particular column. These are the examples of align and v-align text. You can see this is align left and v-align bottom. So similarly, you can align your text within your web page using align and v-align attributes. Then spanning rows and columns. To merge several cells into one, you need to create a spanning cell. A spanning cell is a cell that occupies more than one row or column in a table. Spanning cells are created by inserting the rowspan and colspan attribute in a TD or a TH tag. The syntax for these is rowspan equal to value or colspan equal to value, where value is the number of rows or column that the cell spans in the table. Example of spanning: here two columns are merged. Here three rows are merged. So this spans three rows. Here three columns are merged. So there is the colspan. In this example, four table cells in the first row, rowspan equal to 3. It means 3 rows are merged in the given table. For the rest of the rows, only 3 TDs will be there. Adding spanning cells to a table. In this example, if we see runner, it is spanning 2 columns. Then TD/TD for time and origin, that is table header TH. Then we have 3 rows and merged here as men. So if you see rowspan equal to 3 and man is written, then the data will be given. For women also rowspan equal to 3 and we can see 3 rows are merged. Then another example of spanning cells, if you can see here 2 rows are merged. Children, you can apply a background color to the table, and table element supports the BG color. To specify a background color, you can write BG color equal to color in double quotes. You can give hexadecimal color value. Then specifying table, row and cell colors. Similarly, you can give this in TD or TR to specify the row or a column color. Border color attribute is used to give color to a border of a table. Here you can give border equal to 10 is the pixel and border color as the border color. Applying the table background, you can give a background image to a table using the background attribute. It can be applied to the entire table or to a cell. This is example of table with 4 rows and 3 columns. Here the example of only 2 rows is given. You can add more rows accordingly. So this is the first row and 3 columns with the border 4 in this given example. Here we have summary of a table. Border attribute is used to give border of a table. Border color gives a color to a border. Cell spacing, space between two cells. Cell padding, space between text and a cell wall. Background attribute is used to give image to a table background. BG color is used to give color to a table background. Height and width decides the table height and size. Then align attribute makes the table center, left or right aligned. This is summary of TH and TD tag. Background attribute is used to insert or display image as a background of a table header or a table cell. BG color gives color to a cell. Height and width decides the height and width for a particular cell. Align is that to align the text, align right, center or left or justified. Row span is used to merge rows in a table. Colspan is used to merge columns in a table for a particular cell. V-align is used to vertically align the text, where align is used to horizontally align the text. These are the attributes of table row. Background for image, BG color for background color, align making a text align horizontally, V-align making a text vertically. Students, we have discussed table tag and its attributes with TH, TR and TD. Now you can draw this table, generate this table using HTML, and don't forget to see other videos which are based on Score 100% series in my channel. Thank you so much. Hello students. This is one of the important topic that can come as a theory question or as a part of creating tables using HTML or a part of a long answer web page. Cell padding and cell spacing, which is attribute of table tag. Let's start with this. Cell spacing and cell padding. As it's clear from the image that this is a table and cell padding attribute is the attribute of table tag, which specifies the space in pixels between the cell wall and the cell content. So this is called cell padding. Cell spacing attribute specifies the space in terms of pixels between the cells. You can see the cell spacing. Cell spacing is between two cells. It can be distance between border and the cell wall or distance between two cells. This is given in terms of pixels. So you can learn this definition if question comes for the theory like difference between cell spacing and cell padding. You can answer the question with example. Now this is attribute of table tag. So table, we can specify table border. Here table border equal to 4. Border just gives the thick boundary outside the table. It does not affect the inner boundary of the inner border of the cells. Here cell padding equal to 6 pixels. You can see the distance. Cell spacing equal to 8, different distance between two cells, and align equal to center and BG color equal to red, other attributes. This I have already explained in my video explaining the entire attributes of table and TD and TH. You can view that also. So here two rows are given. First is the heading exam date. So we took this as TH and /TH. Next one is for English and the date. These are the two columns. So we took this as TD. The outline is the border of the table and inner side cell padding and cell spacing is specified. Children, don't get confused between cell padding and cell spacing. Cell spacing is distance between two cells. Cell padding is distance between the cell wall and the content. Here one more example. To create this, subject and total marks are heading. So we give here TH tag. 3 rows. So we are taking 3 TRs and /TR. Math 100, science 100, and we have given cell padding equal to 3 and cell spacing equal to 6. Although in the exam, if you have to create a table as a part of long answer, this spacing and padding is also given in the question. So you have to use those pixels which is given in the question itself. Otherwise, you can take, for example, as per your own assumptions. So children, now this is the time to try yourself section of the video. Write HTML code to create the following table. Here 3 rows and 3 columns are given. Apply the cell spacing and cell padding attribute. Children, in the question you can get the question related to row spanning, col spanning, which is the part of TD attribute, and you can see video on row span and col span also. Here cell spacing and cell padding is attribute of table tag. So don't confuse in between the tags. All the best for your board exams. Dear students, this video is on rowspan and colspan, which is one of the important topic which may come as a theory part or while creating a table or inside the HTML code in creating a table. So this rowspan and colspan I'll explain, and also I will give you some good tips to create rowspan and colspan attributes using HTML. So spanning rows and column, if you see, this is the example of colspan and this is the example of rowspan where two rows are merged. When columns are merged, this is the example of colspan. So to merge several cells into one, you need to creating a spanning cell. Spanning cell, what is a spanning cell? Students, spanning cell is a cell which occupy more than one row or column in a table. Spanning cells are created by inserting the rowspan and colspan attribute in a TD or TH tag. So we are merging two rows or two columns or more than two rows or more than two columns, but we give this attribute in TD or TH tag. So syntax for these attributes is rowspan equal to value and colspan equal to value, where value is the number of rows or columns that the cell spans in the table. Here the example of rowspan and colspan is given. Colspan and rowspan helps when the inner content is large enough such that it would not fit into one of the cells. Students, you have used tables in MS Word or in Excel and you merge the cells. So this is a kind of merging the cells but using HTML code. So rowspan is used when we want the row to spread for or span for more than one rows. And the colspan is used when we want the particular column to span for more than one cells. So when we are merging the columns, we are using colspan. When we are merging the rows, we use rowspan. So this is the example of spanning cells. Here, this cell spans two columns and two rows. This spans three columns. And here this span three rows. Now this is a table structure with a row spanning cell. Here rows three rows are merged. So TD row span equal to 3, 1. Now this cell spans 3 rows and slash TD. This is the first column of first row, but here it is covering 3 rows. So we are using row span equal to 3. 4 columns are there. So TD 2, 3, 4. 3 TDs, more TDs are there. After that, as the rows are merged, so we will write 1 TD less in all other 2 rows to create this resulting table. Now, for example, you have to write HTML code to generate the following table. Let me explain this table. If you see how many rows are there, there are 1, 2, 3, 4 rows. 1, row 1, row 2, row 3 and row 4. And here 4 columns are there. Column 1, column 2, 3 and 4. And if we see this first one, this is the merging of two rows. Here merging of two columns. Now let's see how the code we will write. First table slash table. Under table slash table we will start with the tr slash tr. TD row span equal to 2. This is for state of health. Then next TD, it is merging two columns, so fasting values. After that there is no merging, so normal TD after writing. And slash tr, end of one row. Then tr, TD minimum, TD maximum and TD 2 hours after eating. Here we are using 3 columns because we have merged the one column in the first row. Next, 2 rows are normal with 4 columns. So we will write 4 TD slash TD tags in both the rows and slash table. Here for heading, we can use TH tag in the first 2 rows. So the resultant will be the bold color heading. Some points to remember. Children, you always keep these points in your mind. Colspan and rowspan can be applied only to table rows and columns. You cannot apply this to the list item. Second, when you are applying a colspan or a rowspan, you must always remember to remove the extra cell or row for which the spanned item is used. While using colspan, if you are giving a colspan of 2, then remember if it is taking a space of 2 columns. So now the TR must have only 2 TDs if initially it has 3 TDs. Similarly for rowspan, if you are having 2 rows initially, then you will have 1 TR when you applied a rowspan of 2 to the first row. Children, now hopefully you have understood the rowspan and colspan. Now you start writing code to generate the following table. Here I can give you hint that how many rows and how many columns are there. If you count, there are 6 columns, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7 rows. So here merging of what? Column. Here merging of rows, merging of column and merging of rows. Create this page. All the best for your exam. Thank you so much. Students, if you have liked the video and find it very useful, subscribe to my channel, press like and share button, and also press the bell icon to never miss the useful updates. All the best.